Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some kind of rough news going on over here where we are now hearing even more big platitudes of, well, just things being fully out of stock. We've been having a lot of issues these past few weeks, especially, and obviously, the past like 2 years or so, for restocks and companies getting stock and everything else, but now we're seeing even more issues popping on up. And it kind of stings too because we're now actually hearing from official sources that it's going to be basically like, hey, we still are having some struggles, we're still having some issues, we're still having some stock issues, you may have to wait a little while longer for everything else to come up and be available, so just not fun news. And we've kind of been seeing this floating around a lot throughout these past 24 hours, and we've also been seeing a lot more issues of like a lot more sold outs, a lot more stock issues, and even for the next short term, a little more production, and also like the restocks, like new restocks coming on out. So some kind of rough news to go talk about, but it does kind of seem like these past few weeks we've been having issues non-stop, almost like on everything. It's been kind of like a struggle all over the place. So might as well go and pour and be the bearer of the bad news if we gotta. Even though I don't really want to be, but whatever, whatever. Sometimes you gotta go talk about stuff, and it is at least entertaining to talk about, but still, man, it stinks. So we now have confirmations that there is even more shortages coming on over here. Coming out. So before we fully dive on in, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway on the channel itself. We have the Amazon links down below for the PS5 signups. We have the Twitter and Twitch streams down below if you guys want to follow, and everything else too as well down below too on top of that. So let's go and dive on in and talk about it. So as I mentioned, we've been seeing a lot of these big boys, even Sony, even Microsoft themselves, now confirming even more shortages. But this one's a little bit of a newer one because it's all related towards these next-gen consoles, although it's not fully the one-to-one. We've still been having a lot of these out of stocks and everything else for Xboxes, but for this one, we're now actually seeing this more even on the controller side. So with this, we have an article over here from Video Games Chronicle, stating now Microsoft themselves have now officially confirmed a shortage now of even now the Xbox controllers. So it's not just stopping, fully at just, the consoles, which I can understand they're hard to make. Or maybe like, some like, cars. Sure, you have to put a lot of stuff put together. Now even just the nice accessories of, say, the Xbox controllers are now becoming big struggles. So we have quote-unquote supply disruptions are now affecting stock. The company has now told VGC, as now all the major retailers, so such as like Amazon, Walmart, Target, etc., GameStop, Game, Argos, etc., are now having issues and remaining sold out. So now Microsoft has officially acknowledged a shortage of Xbox controllers after many major retailers have sold out completely all throughout this month. So with this, at the time of writing, major retailers in multiple regions are now completely sold out of the Xbox wireless controllers, and the peripherals seem to be particularly scarce, as well, especially focused on the European side. In the UK, there are now currently no controllers in any color in stock at retailers such as Game, which is like the equivalent of GameStop, Smith's, which is the equivalent of, let's say, like Walmart, Argos, equivalent of like Target, and Curry's, let's say Amazon or whatever, or even on the official Microsoft store locations. Amazon UK is one of the few retailers with stock of the Carbon Black controller, which was newly added today. It was actually sold out as the day before, and third-party prices on Amazon for them start at almost $100, getting nearly close to double the price. So we've been seeing this kind of floating around a lot. Like, we've been seeing a lot more of these articles now kind of warning folks about it, where we have, like, say, Microsoft warns about supply shortages. We're hearing other articles, too, as well. If you guys can see this whenever it is actually low, basically just with Microsoft confirms Xbox controller shortage, UK stores out of stock. I don't know why my internet keeps them being weird, but either way, we have now been seeing a lot of these locations now officially confirming that there is just no stock available. And now this is even more obnoxious too, because there isn't really like a big reason for why. But I think this kind of goes and highlights and showcases up why the supply chain has been still so rough. Mainly with this because while the consoles, so think the Xbox Series X or S or even PS5s, have all been pretty consistently sold out, it makes sense. Like, they're expensive, you basically do big restocks, the demand is all there, like demand's super high. So to me, it makes sense of why it'd be sold out. Same with PlayStation. You sell like 100,000 of them all at once, people get excited, or people show up at their stores, or they kind of get staggered on out. And like, to me, it makes sense. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But for controllers, where there hasn't been like, let's say, a major, let's say, controller update, where everyone's like, oh my god, I have to buy a brand new controller to make sure I can utilize this new update. Or like, oh my god, there's a brand new controller, I can't wait to get it. Because as you guys probably know, Microsoft is pretty on top of a lot of various options. They have a lot of different colors. You can even customize your own controllers, stuff like that. So it's almost kind of weird because you would expect them to almost never be out of stock. PlayStation 5 is maybe a slightly differently because, they're only the one and done. But like for this, it just doesn't make sense. It really is weird. So for this one, the situation appears to be similar in many regions, with Reset-era forum users now discussing their difficulty in locating controllers in various countries, now also not even just only in the UK, but say like in Australia, France, the Netherlands, and Germany. And apparently too as well, a lot of folks are still having even issues in America, where some of the American places such as like GameStop, Amazon themselves have it kind of on off, like sometimes having stock, sometimes not having stock. So we're not really running into too many good issues with it, because you would assume for controllers, I've almost never, maybe you guys can correct me down below if you guys ever had your own stories, but I have almost never had any major issues when it comes to controllers. I've never been like, oh my god, I can't find a controller, I can't find like an Xbox controller or whatever. Because like these have been out for a long time first and foremost, but they always usually like to have extra stock available too for, for PC users, or they have their Elite controllers, or they have the Design Labs, which thankfully is still apparently taking orders, which we'll cover in a second. It's the next line. But it's kind of crazy to see this because, like, consoles I get, I can totally get, but controllers of all things. So the Xbox Design Lab, if you guys don't know, it's actually kind of cool. You can basically just go use this to basically go and make your own controllers, like pretty much anything you want to go and showcase up over here. We've talked about it before because it is just kind of a cool feature, even though like I don't know why all my websites just being kind of strange. But basically you can just go and design up any controller you want, which is very nifty and very cool. Like you could basically get to choose any color, choose any layout, choose, camos. You guys can see on this little demo over here. But like you can show like the colors, you get to look at the layouts, you get to go change like the triggers and like the analog sticks or whatever, which is cool. But like even with this, they're still doing them and making them, but they're still going to probably be a little bit of a somewhat of a delay. But some of these actually always look kind of cool. I like how this one looks. I like the solid color ones. But like, we've seen people make a lot of really cool ones because you could always just make them whenever you want to. But even for that one, the Xbox Design Lab does still appear to be still taking new orders from players wishing to design and buy their own custom controllers. The Design Lab site continues to claim, we aim to have your controller in your hands within 28 days of placing your order. It's not clear if this remains the case or simply just hasn't been updated. I'd actually probably say if we do keep on seeing rolling outages throughout these next few weeks, it actually might take even longer, which is even more scary to go think about, on the fact that we are still having so many of these issues and so many of these problems with all of our consoles, with all of these internals, with accessories, and we also do have this brand new PlayStation 5 stuff coming out in the near future, like with the monitors and headsets, and what if those are even sold out, and what if those are even still having supply chain issues? It's not cool to see. So Xbox did go and confirm that the controller shortage following an inquiry by VGC, attributing to its now more so supply disruptions, with their official statement stating, we know it may be hard finding Xbox wireless controllers right now due to supply disruptions, let alone even still the Xbox Series X's and also even PS5s. A Microsoft spokesperson told us, we're working as fast as possible with our manufacturing and retail partners to improve this. Please keep on checking your local retailers for availability. Stock does seem to be somewhat more readily available in the US, which is nice, but sometimes you kind of hear this news and like you see these articles or YouTube videos like this or tweets, and then some people are like, well, I kind of want to get a new controller. Maybe I should get one right now, as I see them in stock, And that's why we kind of like sometimes have issues, let's say how it was with toilet paper or even other things like baby food, where people are like, well, my God, well, there's going to be a shortage in like the UK and Australia and Germany. Well, we should maybe go and buy up the stock in America. And it almost kind of goes and basically causes a shorthand stock issue going on, which would make a lot of sense. So, but some of the places right now are only currently even selling pre-owned controllers. So like Amazon US and GameStop are currently only selling pre-owned controllers. So it kind of also even suggests that even America is still having issues going on. And the article kind of winds down stating, shortages of console hardware are nothing new this generation. The global chip shortage has meant that both the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 have been extremely short supply since they launched 19 months ago. It's still crazy to me it's been that long, with stocks on out almost as quickly as it arrives. Peripheral shortages have been also less common though, and I kind of stand by that too. It's almost weird that they have it. However, it remains to be seen how quickly Xbox controllers can be replenished, hopefully sooner rather than later. So what do you guys kind of think? I think it's a little scary that we are still having all these restock issues for even now accessories, let alone the consoles themselves, and I'm just not really a big fan that we have to keep on seeing these struggles with all these supply chain and production issues. So Kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. The Amazon links down below for the signups. We have the Target links as well. And the Twitter and Twitch stream if you guys would like to go and follow and hang out over there. We'd love to have you guys on top of that. And I'll see you guys all throughout today for more videos.